Hi there. Hey, I'm Jen Rice, and I had to pop in here tonight and share a little bit about a blanket that I tried at a friend's house a couple days ago. And so I've been hearing things about these weighted blankets, and I never really had tried one myself. So she said, "Well, go ahead and lay out here and put it on," because I wanted to see what it felt like on me. So I laid out, and she put it out on top of me, and instantly I did feel a little bit of like, ah. So, this got me more curious as to wanting to learn a little bit more about maybe even a little bit of the science behind the weighted blanket, how they decided this would be helpful with certain conditions, where they've been using them. And so I thought it might be helpful for you guys, if you hadn't heard about it, to maybe learn a little bit. Because I had heard someone mention it, and I kind of thought, I don't know about that. Well, after trying hers, and I did not sleep all night with it, but I did get the feeling of it on my skin, and I do understand now that sort of positive pressure that they're talking about. So, hey Amy, how are you? Thanks for jumping on. So, I'm talking tonight about really 6 facts around the weighted blankets, but there's different you'll hear different marketing things, like it's good for sleep, it's good for chronic pain, it's good for PTSD, it's good for autism, and really, where are they using these things? What does conventional medicine think about it versus maybe functional versus anyone in between? And so I did find that a doctor with the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, he made a great statement that said that he thinks it may help people with chronic pain, sleep, and anxiety, because what's happening is when the blanket is on you, it's giving like a form of deep pressure. So like, the first fact about the blanket is that it's a form of deep pressure. And so when you're getting a deep pressure, your body will release serotonin and dopamine, which are neurotransmitters, and they're feel-good neurotransmitters. So the pressure is releasing these neurotransmitters, right? So that's point one. The second thing, and he also agreed that it's kind of like, it's like a big hug, like getting a big hug. And really, how is it not, it would be way better than taking a sleeping pill or some kind of sleep aid to go to sleep that is, a medication or prescription medicine that you're having to take long term. So in his opinion, being a conventional doctor, like I said, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine is sort of behind and sort of saying thumbs up to these weighted blankets. Now, what other people have talked about is, how do you know what weight you should buy? So like, say you want to go online, you're looking even like, okay, well, I want to look up these weighted blankets. What should I even buy? What do I look for? Well, it depends on the size of the patient. So they've used these weighted blankets in occupational therapy, and specifically with autistic children. And they suggest that it's about 20% of a patient's body weight. Now, I know they go all different sizes. Most of the time on the market, you'll see something between 10 and 25 pounds. I think the one I had might have been 30. I don't remember exactly. It wasn't 50 or something. It definitely wasn't 50 pounds or 40. I think it was probably around 30. So they're saying that the second fact about it is that it depends on the patient's size, and you want to get a blanket that is roughly about 20% of the body weight. The third point I want to mention is this is absolutely not for infants. So as I was reading to kind of prepare a bit for this video, because I like to have my information straight too, is that for some reason people were using them or trying them with infants, because who doesn't have problems sleeping the most but maybe babies, right? So it is not recommended to use a weighted blanket with infants at all, according to what I was reading. So We want to reserve this for, older children, of course, adults. And I had personally tried an adult size blanket. So the fourth point I want to mention of 6 is that the PTSDjournal.com was talking about sleeping with a weighted blanket can reduce anxiety, help with insomnia, and that the pressure relaxes your entire nervous system. And I think that's pretty great, right? I know it's become something that more and more companies have come out with product lines. Obviously, like anything that begins to sell, you're going to see more people making them. And the fifth point is they're not cheap. So you're talking about between $150 and maybe $300. It could be a little bit more. And every company had to remove health claims. So you're not going to see, I see you guys jumping on. Thanks for being here. We're talking about weighted blankets tonight. A lot of the companies, though, have had to remove claims like helps with anxiety, releases things from your nervous system. They had to take away all those health claims. So you're not going to really see that. So I'm trying to provide these 6 facts that I hope that'll be helpful for you tonight if you do decide it's something you want to give it a go with. And lastly, what it's filled with. So it can be filled with sand, it can be filled with rice, it can be filled with beans, seeds, but they talked a lot about this poly pellets that because you got to think about if you're going to lay with this on you most evenings, you want to be able to wash it, right? And some of the fillers, and people make their own, sometimes they make their own weighted blankets with, I guess, seeds, beans, rice, like all the things I just named. But then the question is how the washing, is it going to be like an insert into something else? I don't know. But I did read that a lot of people do tend to make their own, but now you can certainly go out and look, and there's a lot of options out here. Hey, Diane, good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. So I really wanted to mention that because I had the opportunity to try the weighted blanket, and instantly when I laid down and she placed it over me, I did have this immediate feeling of like a sigh, if that makes sense. But I did not sleep with it. I did not use it for an entire night, although I've heard that it helps with sleep. I know that people have used it for anxiety and felt it was helpful. I was reading a lot about, of course, the autism use with the occupational therapist. And I don't know, I guess I would say that my opinion on this is that for maybe even if it is $150 to $300, I don't know exactly what they're going for, but you could invest a lot more in prescription medications, certainly other devices and things that help you with sleep or anxiety or all the above. And so it may not be a bad investment to try it, right? I don't really know what companies offer return policies and whatnot, but if you know someone who's struggling with, maybe a lot of increased stress, anxiety, certainly sleep problems, this could be a great option for them. If you feel like this video has been helpful and giving out, some key points about them. And I do like to cite some of the scientists or the scientific background, and that there does seem to be some proven science behind it, although they've said that they haven't done large studies on this because the only people that really want to do the studies are maybe the people that make the blankets, and it's not a pharmaceutical medication, which means that it's probably not going to get huge amount of studies behind it. And those of you guys that kind of follow me know that I'm not against pharmaceutical companies. I just think that you're not going to see a lot of funding for these other treatment modalities because they're not really something that they're going to make money on, right? So for what it's worth, you can give the weighted blanket a try. I really appreciate you guys watching tonight. Thanks for jumping on. If you have used a weighted blanket yourself or you have one, because like I said, I had 5 minutes of a snapshot of it. If you use one, I would love to hear your feedback on it. And if you're going to get one, I know my friend Sarah was thinking of getting one too this weekend after we were talking about it. I would love to hear your feedback, and if you use a particular brand or type, certainly throw that out here. It may be helpful for someone else. And if you like my content, I do have a Facebook business page called Jenn International. I have been super passionate, kind of on a quest, if you will, for the last year to improve my own personal health. And in doing so, I have been sharing and been very passionate about helping other people, however their journey looks like too. So thank you guys so much for watching tonight. I hope you have a great, great night, and we'll see you soon.